R&B singer Angie Stone has died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama Friday, was heading to Atlanta when the van she was riding in crashed. It's still not clear why they crashed or how the other people in the van are doing.
All right, y'all, this is not the kind of news I wanted to bring today. We just lost a legend and it's hitting hard. Angie Stone, one of the most soulful voices to ever bless R&B, is gone. And the details, well, they're heartbreaking. For those who might not know, Angie wasn't just a singer, she was a pioneer. She started in the late 70s with The Sequence, one of the first female rap groups to ever make noise in hip-hop. Y'all ever heard Funk You Up? That was them. That track laid the foundation for so much of what we hear in music today. But Angie didn't stop there. She went on to give us some of the most timeless R&B hits, Black Diamond, Mahogany Soul, and of course, Wish I Didn't Miss You. That song is a classic, the kind that still gets played everywhere, from cookouts to heartbreak playlists. And now, she's gone. Just like that. It doesn't even feel real, y'all. Before we get into what happened, let's take a second to honor this queen. Drop a heart in the comments if you ever vibe to an Angie Stone track. And while you're here, make sure to like and subscribe because we got to keep these conversations going. Okay, let's start with what we know so far. Reports say Angie Stone was in a car crash early Saturday morning in Montgomery, Alabama. At first, the details were really vague, just that there was an accident and she didn't make it. Her rep, Deborah R. Champagne, confirmed the news, but there wasn't much more to go on. Now, y'all already know, when the details ain't adding up, I gotta dig deeper, and I found some things. Turns out this accident wasn't just some fender bender, this was serious. And the more we look into what happened, the more tragic it gets.
Yeah, Angie Stone dazzled a crowd here at City Winery around this time last year. She also lived in Metro Atlanta and touched many lives over the years. We spoke with a friend and local radio host who remembers her charismatic personality and powerful voice.
Her legacy is that we all love Angie Stone because she loved us.
So here's what went down, and y'all, it's bad. The crash happened on Interstate 65 early in the morning, and when I say it shuts things down, I mean it. Traffic was backed up for hours because of this wreck. We're talking lanes completely blocked, police and medics all over the scene. It was a mess. Now, what makes this even worse is that it wasn't just Angie in that accident. Reports say 5 people were involved, including 2 kids. That's right, 2 minors were caught up in this crash, along with 3 adults. And when I saw that, my heart sank. At first, there wasn't much info on who was in what car, but then things started lining up. See, Angie had been spotted driving a black utility vehicle recently, and guess what? One of the cars in the accident matched that description. Plus, if y'all have been following Angie's social media, you probably saw that her son was the one driving her around a lot. Now, I'm not saying he was behind the wheel that night because we don't have confirmation on that, but it's definitely something to think about. What we do know is that this crash was bad enough to send multiple people to the hospital. First responders had to rescue a driver who was trapped in the car. That person had serious injuries, but thankfully they weren't life-threatening. As for the other victims, 2 adults and 2 minors were also rushed to the hospital with minor injuries. But here's the thing, no one is saying who exactly was in which car. Police are keeping a lot of these details tight right now. What makes this even harder is that we don't fully know what caused the crash. Was it bad weather, a reckless driver? Was Angie even the one driving? These are the questions we still don't have clear answers to. But with how serious this wreck was, we know one thing for sure. It was bad enough to take Angie's life. And y'all, that's heavy. It's crazy to think that just hours before this happened, she was doing what she always did, spreading positivity, making music, being a mother. And now, just like that, she's gone.
We learned singer and songwriter Angie Stone has died. She's best known for the hit Wish I Didn't Miss You. She was a 3-time Grammy nominee. Stone was killed today in a car crash in Montgomery, Alabama. She was 63 years old.
So we already talked about how the details around this crash are really murky. But one thing that's got everybody talking, who else was in that car with Angie? Now let's talk about her son, Michael Archer Jr. Y'all follow Angie, you know she was super close with her kids, especially Michael. He's been seen driving her car before, and folks who knew them personally say he was often the one getting her from place to place. And here's where things get really interesting. Some reports are saying that the vehicle at the crash site matched the car Angie had been using recently. Now that alone doesn't confirm much, but it makes you wonder, now listen, I ain't saying Michael was behind the wheel this time, but if he was, honey, that's a whole different level of heartbreaking. Can you even imagine losing your own mother in an accident while you were in the driver's seat? That's the kind of pain that stays with you forever. As of now, we don't have official confirmation on who was driving, but the fact that police haven't ruled anything out yet, yeah, it's got folks wondering what really happened that night. Either way, this whole situation is just tragic, and it's a reminder that life can change in an instant. Now hold up, before we go any further, we gotta take a second to appreciate what we just lost. Because Angie Stone, she was one of those ones. This woman's influence runs deep. She started off in The Sequence, yes, that's right, that legendary rap trio from the late 70s. They gave us Funky You Up, one of the first ever female hip-hop records to go big, and that alone, legendary. But she didn't stop there. She went solo and gave us classics like Black Diamond, Mahogany Soul, and Stone Love. And who could ever forget Wish I Didn't Miss You? Y'all, that song still hits every single time. That was grown folks music. And she wasn't just a singer either. She had range. She was out here acting too. She popped up in The Hot Chick Ride Along and a bunch of other films and shows. She was always working, always evolving, always bringing something fresh. But most importantly, she paved the way. So many of today's R&B and soul artists, y'all think they got here on their own? Nah, they stand on Angie's shoulders. She brought that soulful, raw, honest sound that so many tried to imitate but never could duplicate, and now she's gone. But her music, that's forever, and trust me, she's gonna be missed.
One of the things is that I'm going to reveal today has to do with why I have not been being on tour a lot and doing a whole bunch of dates. I'll give you the tea on that based on what I've heard. A lot of stuff that has been said to my team, my management, and it's a little disturbing, but not surprising.
We've been talking about how shocking and tragic this whole situation is, but when Diamond spoke out, that's when it really sank in just how real this is. She confirmed the news with a post on Facebook, and y'all, it was heartbreaking. So she didn't write a long statement. She didn't try to dress it up with extra words. She just said, my mommy is gone. And sometimes that's all you need to say. That raw, simple pain, it was different. Because it's one thing to hear the reports and see the headlines, but when you hear it from her own child, that's when it becomes real. Fans flooded her comments with support, prayers, and condolences. And it wasn't just fans, celebrities, fellow artists, the entire music world came through to show love. Jill Scott posted a tribute calling Angie a true queen of soul. Missy Elliott tweeted, a voice like no other. Rest in power, Angie. Erykah Badu shared a clip of them performing together, writing, thank you for everything, and the love keeps pouring in because no matter what, Angie left her mark. Now, Diamond hasn't said much beyond that post, but honestly, she doesn't have to. She just lost her mother, and that kind of pain, that's beyond words. Let's just keep her, Michael, and the rest of Angie's family in our thoughts and prayers. Now, the big question is, what comes next? Because even though we know Angie is gone, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. First off, the police investigation is still ongoing. They're still piecing together what exactly happened that night, who was driving, what caused the crash, and whether there were any other factors involved. Now, we don't want to speculate too much until more facts come out, but the fact that there were 5 people involved, including 2 kids, that already tells us this situation is complex. Was there another car involved? Was it a case of reckless driving or bad weather? Could there have been a medical emergency that led to the crash? We don't have those answers yet, but you better believe the police are digging deep. And then, of course, there's the memorial and funeral arrangements. As of now, we don't have official details, but you already know the industry is going to come together to celebrate her life. Angie's peers, producers, actors, they're going to show up and pay their respects. And the fans, they'll be right there too, making sure her legacy is never forgotten.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Angie Stone. I am about to address the nasty rumors that I am dead. I am very much alive. Just keep it locked. Stay tuned so I can put some folk in check. See you in a minute. Peace.
At the end of the day, we lost a real one. There's no way around it. This one hurts. But if there's one thing Angie always gave us, it was timeless music. And that's how we're gonna honor her. She had that kind of voice that just stuck with you. Whether it was the smooth, soulful storytelling on Black Diamond or the raw emotion in Mahogany Soul. Songs like Wish I Didn't Miss You, Brotha, and No More Rain weren't just tracks, they were anthems. And we know y'all got your personal favorites, so let's celebrate her the right way. Drop your favorite Angie Stone song in the comments. Which song got you through a tough time? Which one brings back good memories? Let's fill up this space with love for Angie because she deserves it. And of course, we're sending all our love to Angie's family, her kids, her friends, and every single fan out there feeling this loss. It's never easy losing someone who meant so much, but the best way we can keep her legacy alive, keep playing her music, keep sharing her story, keep celebrating her. Y'all stay safe out there, and most importantly, hold your loved ones close.